Welcome to Performing Data in Australasia, a project for researchers who are interested in utilising data from live performing arts databases. Kia ora, my name is Dr. James Winley, a lecturer in theatre at Te Herenga Waka, Victoria, University of Wellington. Data as dramaturgy is about using data to represent the creative process, concept maps, and character relations. Thinking about the data of dramaturgy is a way of asking how data can help us better understand dramaturgical processes and structures. In the past, the creative arts might have been thought of as an entirely qualitative field, but increasingly quantitative methods are being employed to reach new conclusions and support new discoveries. One technique that has been used is stylometrics. Stylometric analysis is a method that analyzes features of texts that can be statistically quantified. By using an algorithm that analysed word choice and frequency, thereby creating a fingerprint of a writer's style, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania have concluded that Christopher Marlowe should rightfully be credited as a co-author on all three of Shakespeare's Henry VI plays. This kind of research can be used to support hypotheses or developments in theatre history scholarship. Another example of using this approach for theatre of the past is a project by Spanish researchers to visualise the structure of 18th century operas. In a pilot using the operas of the Italian poet and playwright Metastasio, each libretto was codified using XML format into a tree data structure. These graphical representations of the opera's libretto presented the researcher with clear, concise maps of the work. This kind of approach could facilitate larger scale analyses than could have been possible before. A related approach is that of network theory. Franco Moretti has used this approach to plot analysis and character relationships that allow for plays to be analysed in this vein. The consequence of this approach is that it turns a play into a model. It functions, in Moretti's words, as an X-ray. Using network theory, Moretti created a character network for Hamlet. Moretti sees the value of this approach, turning time into space, in revealing connections that exist beyond the scenes of the play itself. Moretti also sees network maps as a way to run experiments. What happens if the protagonist is removed? What are we left with? This kind of experimentation is much to offer both scholars and creative practitioners alike. A similar approach can be found in Shirley Wu's interactive visualization of every line in the musical Hamilton. Wu began by recording which character sings any given line, and also who the line is directed towards. She then created a visualization of this data that allows one to filter the lyrics by conversation, theme, and character. Circles represent a set of lines sung, with color coding to distinguish characters. Wu then experimented with filtering to reveal the details of particular character relationships. An example of a creative application of this kind of dramaturgical analysis and data visualizations has been undertaken by the Italian theatre maker and data scientist. For Frangipani's second play, Il Punto è Questo, This is the Point, Frangipani visualized her three characters as a triangle, using a scatter plot to indicate the movement of time in the dramatic universe. Frangipani sees the website that she created as a window that people can use to explore the play in a way that is a bit different from the classic one. But further to this, she brought the data visualization element into the performance space by staging the two things simultaneously. She experimented with using sensors and microphones to map the position of the actor on the stage and the words that they spoke. Frangipani sees the potential of data visualization as a way to record the ephemerality of theatre, the sometimes minute changes that occur between performances. Thinking about data as dramaturgy is also a way to think about how to understand the creative process in a new way. The theatre company Complicite, led by Simon McBurney, have done this with their website Making the Encounter. The website offers an account of the creative process of their 2015 audio immersive production The Encounter, from conception to realization. This kind of thinking has implications not just for scholars who wish to examine the dramaturgical processes of established theatre companies, but also for researchers engaged in practices research who might be able to make use of creative visualization in increasingly sophisticated ways. The company Blast Theory have also experimented with alternative ways to archive performance based on the challenges presented by their mixed reality performance works, which comprise both physical and digital spaces. In their first attempt to archive or document their work, Writer Spoke, they developed a digital replay archive prototype based on an open software tool called the Digital Replay System. The strength of this approach was that it allowed simultaneous, synchronous playback of many different types of data, video, audio, text, and so on. The source of the data was always labelled, as many different people contributed to the process. Researchers from performance studies, ethnography, and information studies, all of whom focused on different aspects of the performance. They then built on this process in future attempts to organise and document the experience of a complex, interdisciplinary performance work. The data of dramaturgy opens up new possibilities in relation to documenting the rehearsal process. Two researchers from the University of Lisbon worked on the dramaturgy of dance, creating a video essay to invite reviewers into a choreographer's studio. In the essay, the studio of the dancer and choreographer is digitally recreated in order to engage kinesthetically and empathetically with the work. Tracking and visualising data has always been inherent to the creative work of making theatre. New technology is offering ever more sophisticated and novel ways to undertake this work. A conception of data as dramaturgy expands the boundaries of the shape and scope of analyses that might be able to be undertaken, particularly in regard to large bodies of texts or complex interdisciplinary work.